our new mission is to bring the world closer together. And for the last decade, our mission has been to make the world more open and connected. And we've been really focused on these ideas. But now, I just feel like we have a responsibility to do more in the world, right? I mean, when you look at the world today, giving people a voice and helping people connect are good, and they've made the world better in a lot of ways. But our society is still very divided, right? And that means that it's not just enough to help us simply connect. We need to work to bring the world closer together.
You keep hearing we've never been more divided, we've never been more polarized. Was it the political climate that led to kind of this awakening?
I think it's really this feeling that simply connecting the world is not enough by itself. Right? You want to help people stay connected with the people they already know and care about, but you also want to make it so that people get access to new people and new perspectives too.
So let me ask you how you do that, because technology, to a degree, is always promised to help us discover and to help us learn. There's also the question of, like, does it make us more insular, and is information being hijacked and spread? So as you make the future of Facebook these communities, how do you make sure they remain a place for authenticity and for real discourse?
People are connecting over something that they have in common. And there's a lot of research that shows that if you want to engage on issues that you disagree on, right, so things that society is divided on, the first thing that you need to do is connect over your common humanity, right? So that can be something as simple as, we both have families, or we both like a TV show together, or we both like the Chicago Cubs, or whatever it is. So bringing people together and creating these communities is, I think, a lot of what we can do to help create more civil and productive debate on some of the bigger issues as well.
First to the big one, Facebook and its earnings. The social media giant topped Wall Street's earnings expectations, continue to grow its user base, coming in just shy of the 2 billion mark. So, Andy, it looks like Facebook's moving in the right direction. What can stop this company now?
Well, there are a lot of numbers with a company like this. I mean, but the big one to me is this is a $30+ billion company still growing its top line by more than 50%. And,
a little enviable.
I think Dick Vitale would say something like, "That's awesome, baby." I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I mean, it's pretty amazing. It does have, a bunch of different platforms. The stock is up, nearly 30% year to date. And, it's given some back now, but there's very little. Like the Snap is a big threat. Well, Instagram's countered that, and they have superior management. That, I think, is a little bit under-recognized with this company, and I don't think they get credit for that.
But, despite the stock having a nice run-up recently, Miles, that stock is lower today ahead of the open. So what gives this great earnings report, yet why are investors reacting this way?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that it's up so much sort of says it all, right? It can't go up forever. Buy the rumor, sell the news is a very real thing in markets. But I think it's interesting that we're sitting here and Andy's, we're running through what's up with Facebook, what can they do, what can stop the company, right? And these are all the sorts of things you start to hear when, just for some reason, things stop clicking, right? So the idea here is that Facebook and Google, I mean, this is sort of market consensus, right? Facebook, Google will take advertising market share forever and ever, this unlimited market, everything's going to the internet, and that's all fine and well. But by the time that becomes consensus, that trade's probably over.
Right.
So I don't know what's next for Facebook, but if you think it's, Facebook will continue to take a bigger share of mobile revenue, mobile ad revenue, all this stuff, those best days are probably behind it. That doesn't mean it's not going to be good for Facebook in the future. But by the time we understand what's playing out, we've missed the boat. And I think that, and you kind of look at 2015 and 2016 in the background of things like Donald Trump's rise to, prominence and all that stuff, all those things under the surface, or that were on the top. Under the surface, we saw Facebook and Google just completely dominate these markets that had been a little bit more varied. And now it's basically a duopoly.